What's up, Future Millionaires? It's your boy MTI. Now, some of you may be saying, Mike, why do you still say, what's up, Future Millionaires, and we are in a bear market? Well, there's a few reasons why. Now, the first reason is if you don't believe you can become a millionaire, if you don't believe you are a future millionaire, it won't happen for you. So believing is very important. It's all about what you believe. The second thing is I still believe that crypto is going to create a ton of more millionaires in the future. And then the third thing is you have to still keep that mindset. Yes, it's easier to believe when you're in the bull market, but when things are in a bear market like they are now, which is temporary, we still don't know how long things are going to be like this, but it's not going to be like this forever. And so you want to still keep that mindset as well so you can make the necessary moves when other people are getting out and getting hit by that tidal wave. And so this is why I say, what's up, future millionaires? This is for not just myself, but it's also for the entire community, right? And so I just wanted to kind of share that with you so you all can know where I'm coming from. So when I say that, it's not specifically directly towards drip, it's about the whole crypto space as a whole. Now, as you can tell by the thumbnail, drip is still dripping, but Furio has made another major change to the mechanics of the project, which in my opinion is not good and a huge red flag. Now we're going to be briefly touching on that here in a little bit. Now, with us being in a bear market, we have seen a lot of cryptos come and go. We have seen a lot of different projects come and go as well. Now, one thing about drip, it has still been able to withstand and still been able to be here, even though the price is down a lot lower than where a lot of people have seen drip before. Well, actually anybody, because it was actually lower than what the actual private sale was. But as we can see from the dripcommunity.wiki page on the roadmap, they have now updated this right a little bit to kind of let us know what to expect. And as I mentioned in Friday's video, we talked about what to expect in the short term for drip utility. That will be coming by the end of this year, going into next year. And as you look back at this dripcommunity.wiki page, you can see in general what's coming. You have the bridge protocol, you have lending and insurance protocols, you have the mini DAO, and the Scratchies launch. Now, a lot of people are waiting on this because this is what's supposedly going to be able to burn drip itself, which definitely should help out things as well. And then when you look at drip as a whole, you have the Faucet layer 2, the reservoir layer 2, direct purchase fiat on-ramp and off-ramp, and then you have the new drip UI, which I touched on these two things in Friday's video. And then of course you got the animal farm, which we already know what's coming for this. So this is the main focus that a lot of people are wondering, because most people are in the drip faucet itself compared to in the animal farm. So as we can see, looking at the roadmap, there's quite a bit of focus on drip, and we can expect to see, you know, the fiat on and off ramp and the new drip UI probably in the next 30 to 60 days. Now, one thing Forex mentioned as well in that previous AMA is the fact that he's thinking about allowing people to claim drip tax-free from the faucet, but if they're claiming it tax-free, it's going to automatically go into the drip BUSD farm pool. Now, as I mentioned in Friday's video, long term, I think that will be very beneficial for drip as a whole, right? Now, they did say this is something they can do, but they haven't just stated and say, hey, we're going to implement this. But he did say anything new he implement for drip is going to be layer 2, because he's not going to change the core mechanics of the contract, which is what we've been seeing with other contracts, right, in the DeFi space. And as you know, my strategy hasn't changed with drip. I'm still compounding every day to get to that max payout, which is early June. And for the sake of the price of drip, we can see it's around $1.72 at the time of this video. Now, it can be higher or lower when you see this video. If we head over to the faucet here, you can see I got 4,592 drip. Now, if I don't add any more drip into this faucet, as in DCA and dollar cost averaging, I will actually reach my max payout June 4th, which I've showed in previous videos. So about 6 months from now, I will be at that max payout, 6 to 7 months, give or take. All right. And so, as I said before, I'm still going to keep compounding, because I do believe drip is still going to be here. And you can see people are now starting to come back into drip because of what's been happening with other DeFi protocols. All right. So now this brings us to the major change that happened with Furio Finance. Now, Now, this isn't a project that I talked about all the time, but this is a project I briefly shared to say I did put a little risk capital into this project. Now, I did mention maybe a month ago, I said when they first came out, I like what they were trying to do. However, I mentioned previously, they've made a ton of changes to the project and they haven't even been here 6 months, right? So that's something to definitely keep an eye on. And they made some changes that'll make you scratch your head. And now they've made even more changes, which we're about to talk about right now. Now, if we head over to Furio, you can see the current price is 96 cents, right? And just last week, the price was what, $4.48, right? Because remember, the LMS used to be $4.50 to $5.50. Well, they've made a couple changes. So now the new LMS is 90 cents to $1.10, right? But they also lowered the limit that you can sell FUR tokens. So at first, it was 250 FUR tokens that you can sell max. Now, pretty much the people who were at that limit were people who are close to a max wallet or who had a max wallet. But now they've taken the change down to the max FUR tokens you can sell is 100 FUR tokens. And the LMS is keeping the price between 90 cents to $1.10. But also it gets even better. Now, the other change that they made that just takes the icing on the cake is when you go to claim, let's say you're at the lowest claim percentage, which is 0.5%, right? Which is the negative area. 50% of your earnings goes into the FUR pool for a minimum of 30 days, and then you can take it out. So now the max you can sell is 100 tokens. The max price of it is about $1, but it's lower than that, as we can see. So that's about maybe $100. You still got the sale tax and claim tax on top of that, which is 20%. And then 50% of the earnings has to go into the FUR pool, and you can't take that out until 30 days. Now, if you're at the higher APR, the higher compound rate, right, which is 1% or higher, 25% of your earnings instead of 50% goes into the FUR pool, right? So not only do you still have the claiming and sale tax, but also you're going to either lose 50% or 25% of your earnings for 30 days before you can get that other portion back. This is what they did to say, hey, we need to make the project sustainable. Huge red flag in my opinion, right? I'm not the person to really, bash projects, but when you constantly keep making changes to the mechanics of the protocol to keep it sustainable, that tells me this project most likely isn't going to be here for that long, right? Because if you have to make a change every month for the sustainability of the project, when you already had these different mechanics in place, that tells me they don't have the money to pay out, which I told you guys in the previous video. I said if the LMS is at the lowest part of where it's supposed to be and it hasn't went back up, that tells me they don't have the money to keep it where it needs to be, right? And now we see the price just tanked again, from $4.50 to now $1, right? So people who bought in higher than me are locked in and has lost a lot of money, right? And this is why I said from the beginning, I don't put projects against each other. Oh, this is the drip killer. This is the Furio killer. This is the whatever killer. I don't do that. If the project can make me money, I'm in, right? But at the same time, at what cost? And this is why I don't talk about a ton of different projects. This is why when it comes to passive income in the DeFi space, I really only talked about drip for the most part, because when you think about it, drip is still the king when it comes to ROI dApps in the DeFi space. There's no project that's paid out as much as drip is paid out, and there's no project that's been here as long as drip. Regardless of, the dislike or the hate, it doesn't matter. If you just look at the mechanics, if you just look at the facts, drip has the strongest community, right, which you're gonna need in any space. So you can see there's still people that's with Furio, but you can see a lot of people have jump ship because they're like, this isn't what I signed up for, because there constantly are changes. Now, they said this is temporary, but in my opinion, Furio hasn't been here even 6 months yet, and look at the changes that's happened. So I know I pretty much just share with you without showing you all this, but real quick, let me show you. Here's the price of Furio, 96 cents. Here's my FUR vault, right? 455 Fur tokens, right? And as I showed previously when I first briefly mentioned Furio, this is what I put in. So I didn't put in a lot of money. I put in a very small amount of risk capital. I put in 1153, so a little bit over $1,100, right? But now since they've taken the price down, they cut my legs from under me, and also everyone else. So now you got to keep compounding to get back in the green, because now we are down. You know what I mean? So $1 times 455 tokens is roughly $455, right? So now that they've tanked the price for the sustainability of the project, where does that leave us? You know what I mean? And this is why I didn't talk about this project too much. And this is why I said it still hasn't been here as long as Drip, right? So if we go over here to Furio, check this out. Remember, you had the Furio attack that happened, and I said this is something to keep an eye on when the website went down. Remember I mentioned that? They say there were 3 options we can implement for the changes: freeze the contract, carry on as is, and watch the LMS get abused to 0, or implement a very low no sell limit. All right, this is what they're saying coming from the team. Fur pool withdrawals are paused for the unique upgrades being introduced, but rewards are still being paid. USDC deposits can be made. So you can see, I get it, but I get this to a degree, just this little part, but in my opinion, you should stop everything. Don't allow people to deposit money, but they can't take out money. Withdrawals are paused, but USDC deposits can be made. That's allowing people to say, hey, we're going to put our faith in you again after you've already changed the protocol. You should just make this not be available at all, period. Don't allow people to deposit if you're going to stop withdrawals. You know what I mean? So in my opinion, huge red flag. All right. So this last part here is talking about how half of your earnings or 25% of your earnings will go to the fur pool, which I talked about, but this is just showing you the facts. So anyone who sells and is in a negative position, which is the 0.5% compound rate, 50% of your sale will be staked in the fur pool for you at the 30-day rate. Anyone who sells in a positive rate position, which is 1% or above, which is where I currently am, 25% of your sale will be staked in the fur pool for you at a 30-day rate. And then here you can see they're talking about the LMS, the new LMS price. The LMS price is going to move until further notice to range of 90 cents to $1.10. And it was just $4.50 to $5.50. And remember, before they implemented the LMS, the price went up well over $12, right? So now they're locking the price in at another lower price. Also, now you can only sell a maximum of 100 fur tokens, and you're going to lose 50% or 25% off top to the fur pool. In my opinion, you kind of just, it's like you just pretty much destroyed the project almost. You know what I mean? It's just like you kind of made your days numbered in this space, right? And I've already started to peep that, which is why I made certain comments without spreading FUD. I said if the LMS is lower compared to where it should be, that tells you they don't have enough money. And with these changes, that stands correct. They don't have enough money because they're saying they're making these changes to make the project sustainable. Well, if you have to make a new change each month, that means eventually you're going to run out of things to put that Band-Aid on, right? And so, in my opinion, like I always say, don't take what I'm doing for financial advice. I'm showing you what I'm doing, wins or losses, to help people that's watching, hopefully help you make more money in this space as well. Now, one thing I will say, with everything we've seen that's happened, even though you should be using risk capital anyway, especially in the DeFi space and just in crypto in general, what you should be doing if you're thinking about getting into Furio, my honest opinion, not financial advice, but if it was me, I would just wait on the sidelines. I wouldn't chance it. You know what I mean? I'm not saying going to Drip. I'm not saying going to anything. But what I am saying is I wouldn't take that chance on Furio now knowing where it is. That's just me personally. Not coming at anybody in the community, not coming at anybody, of the team. But at the same time, the team is what made these changes, which has now changed the whole protocol, right? And so with that being said, you're going to lose people, and you haven't been here that long. And so this is why I say when something new comes out, don't just go and say, "Oh, I'm tired of this protocol. I'm going to go jump into this one." Keep your emotions out of it. And that's not just with DeFi, that's just with crypto in general, right? Make your money and keep it moving. Don't allow communities, don't allow team leaders, developers, don't allow anybody, the comment section, YouTubers, myself, don't allow anybody to, taint your judgment on how you want to make money, right? Figure out what's best for you and keep your emotions out of it as much as you can, right? Try to look at this thing logically. Also, look at what's been here the longest, right? And this is why people say drip is king. When it comes to ROI dApps in the DeFi space, drip is king. There's no project that's been here longer than drip. So right there, it makes it king. Number two, there's not a DeFi project that has as many community members. That right there makes it king. Number three, there's not a DeFi protocol that's paid out as much money as drip. Right there, number three, that makes it king. So there's a lot of things that, people can say, hey, I dislike this, but I don't care what crypto it is, rather it's Bitcoin down to the newest crypto that just came out. There's always going to be something good or bad that, people may dislike. You have to make your own decision, be logical, plug in, and make your money. And this is why me personally, I'm staying with my same compounding strategy until I get to that max payout. So real quick, touching on Furio again, what I'm going to do, since they changed everything, it's not going to do me that good to go ahead and start claiming at this point. What am I going to do with $6-7? So I'm still just gonna keep compounding and hope for the best that they pull some out there behind and do something for the longevity of the project. Now, what I see for Furio Finance, and I can be completely wrong, I think they have less days in the DeFi space than more days in the DeFi space, which means their days are numbered. That's just my opinion. Now, of course, we could say everything has a shelf life, everything has an expiration date. Absolutely. But when you're talking about for the long term, or even it being here for a year, from what I'm seeing, I don't see Furio being here a year. It hasn't even been here 6 months, and you can see what's already happened with the project. So take that with a grain of salt. Take it for what you will. Again, this is all your call. Don't listen to me. I'm just a guy who loves crypto, who loves making passive income, and hopefully helping you make passive income in this space as well. So if you gain some value from this video, smash the like button. Let me know down in the comment section what you enjoyed the most about this video, and I will catch you all on the next one.